In the vast darkness of space, far from Earth, there was a group of powerful aliens. They called themselves the Galactic Council. These aliens thought they were the bosses of the whole universe. They had big heads, long fingers, and skin that sparkled like stars. Their ships were huge, like floating cities in space. The Galactic Council met in a giant room. The walls glowed with strange lights, and the floor was made of something that looked like liquid metal. Around a big table sat aliens from 100 different worlds. They all looked different. Some had tentacles, others had wings, and a few were just clouds of gas. At the head of the table sat Zixax, the leader of the council. He was tall and blue, with eyes that changed color as he talked. Zixax banged a glowing stick on the table. "Quiet," he shouted. "We have found a new planet." A big screen appeared in the air. It showed a blue and green planet spinning in space. "Earth. This is planet E3, said Zixax. "It's in a far corner of the galaxy. We just found it." The other aliens leaned forward, curious. They had seen many planets, but this one looked different. Blurp, a squishy green alien, spoke up. "What's so special about this mudball?" Zixax pressed a button. The image zoomed in to show cities, oceans, and forests. "It's full of resources, metals, water, and strange creatures." The aliens muttered and whispered. They liked planets with lots of stuff to take. "But wait," said Zixax. "There's more." He showed pictures of humans, people walking in cities, driving cars, and working in fields. Gloopglor, a blob-like alien, laughed. "Look at those creatures. They're so small and soft. No scales, no claws. How do they survive?" The other aliens joined in the laughter. Humans looked weak and funny to them. Zixax nodded. "Yes, they seem harmless. Our scans show their technology is very basic. They haven't even left their own planet yet." "Primitives," snorted Blurp. "They probably still think they're alone in the universe." This made the council laugh even harder. The idea that humans didn't know about aliens seemed silly to them. Zixax raised his hands for quiet. "Here's what we know. The planet is rich. The creatures are weak. It's perfect for us to take over." The aliens all nodded and agreed. Taking over planets was what they did best. "But," said Zixax, "we must be careful. We don't want to destroy everything. We need the resources." Kronk, a robot-like alien, stood up. "I say we just blast them from space. Quick and easy." No, said Fluffy, who looked like a giant space hamster. "We should trick them. Tell them we come in peace, then take over." The council argued for hours. Some wanted to fight, others wanted to sneak, but they all agreed on one thing: Earth would be easy to conquer. As the meeting went on, none of the aliens thought about what the humans might do. They didn't think humans could fight back. They didn't know about human things like bravery, cleverness, or determination. "It's decided," said Zixax at last. "We'll send a small force first. They'll study the humans up close and prepare for our takeover." The aliens all cheered. They were excited about getting a new planet. They thought about all the things they would take from Earth. None of them worried about the humans. As the council ended, Zixax looked at the image of Earth one last time. "Soon," he thought, "this little planet will be ours. Those little humans won't know what hit them." But Zixax and the Galactic Council were making a big mistake. They thought size and technology were everything. They didn't understand that humans had something special inside them, something that made them tough and hard to beat. The aliens didn't know that on Earth, humans told stories about fighting against big odds. Movies, books, and games showed humans beating powerful enemies. Humans liked to think they could win, even when things looked bad. And the aliens didn't know that humans had fought each other for thousands of years. Humans knew a lot about war, sneaking, and coming up with plans. They had learned to use anything as a weapon and to never give up. As the alien ships started their long trip to Earth, the Galactic Council felt sure they would win easily. They thought humans would be scared and give up fast. They were wrong. Very, very wrong. The aliens didn't know it yet, but they had just started a war they couldn't win. They thought they were going to get an easy victory and a new planet. Instead, they were heading towards a big surprise. Earth was waiting, and soon the Galactic Council would learn just how wrong they were about humans. It was a normal day on Earth. People went to work, kids played in parks, and life went on as usual. Nobody knew that high above, in the dark of space, danger was coming. The first sign was a bright flash in the sky. People looked up, thinking it was a shooting star. But it wasn't. It was the alien ships entering Earth's atmosphere. Big silver ships, shaped like arrows, appeared in the blue sky. They were huge, bigger than any airplane humans had ever seen. The ships hovered over major cities around the world. At first, people were curious. Some were excited, thinking aliens had come to make friends. Others were scared and hid in their homes. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Then, without warning, the attack began. Bright beams of light shot down from the ships. Where they hit, buildings exploded into dust. Cars were thrown into the air like toys. The ground shook as if giant hands were hitting it. People ran screaming through the streets. Smoke filled the air, and the sound of explosions was everywhere. It was chaos. The world's leaders tried to fight back. They sent fighter jets to attack the alien ships. But the jets' missiles bounced off the ships like they were made of rubber. The aliens had some kind of shield that Earth weapons couldn't break. Army tanks rolled into cities, firing at the alien ships. But their shells did nothing. The aliens just ignored them and kept destroying things. In New York, the Statue of Liberty fell into the sea. In Paris, the Eiffel Tower was cut in half by an alien beam. The pyramids in Egypt were turned to sand. Famous places all over the world were being destroyed. People watched on TV and the internet as their world was torn apart. News reporters tried to tell what was happening, but they were often cut off when alien attacks hit their stations. Underground, in secret bunkers, world leaders met. They tried to make plans, but nothing seemed to work. Earth's best weapons were useless against the alien technology. "We need to surrender," said some leaders. "If we don't, they'll kill everyone." "No," said others. "We can't give up. We need to find a way to fight back." As they argued, more cities fell to the aliens. It seemed like Earth was doomed. But not everyone gave up hope. In labs and secret bases, scientists worked day and night. They studied the few alien ships that had crashed, looking for any weakness. One scientist, Dr. Emma Chen, noticed something strange. "Look at this," she said to her team. "The alien metal. It changes when it gets wet." It was a small thing, but it was the first clue that the aliens weren't unbeatable. Meanwhile, regular people started to fight back in their own ways. They couldn't beat the alien ships, but they could help each other. In bombed cities, neighbors pulled each other from broken buildings. Doctors and nurses worked nonstop to help the hurt. Farmers shared their food with people who had lost everything. A group of kids in Brazil found a piece of alien tech in a crashed ship. They figured out it was some kind of computer and started trying to hack it. In Russia, an old man who had been a soldier remembered tricks from long-ago wars. He taught young people how to hide from the aliens and make traps. Slowly, humans started to come together. They shared information online, telling each other what worked and what didn't against the aliens. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Humans were learning, adapting, and getting ready to really fight back. The aliens didn't notice these small things. They were too busy destroying big targets. They thought they were winning easily. From their ships, the aliens looked down at the burning cities and scared people. They laughed, thinking how easy this was. They sent messages back to the Galactic Council. "Earth is falling. Victory will be quick." But they were wrong. They didn't see the fire in people's eyes. They didn't know about the determination growing in human hearts. Yes, Earth was being attacked. Yes, the aliens were strong, but humans weren't giving up. In labs, in hiding places, in broken cities, they were getting ready. The aliens thought the war was almost over. They thought Earth would fall in days. They were wrong. The real war was just beginning. As night fell on the first day of the attack, the aliens celebrated their easy wins, but on the ground, in the dark, humans whispered to each other, "We will fight. We will win. Earth is our home, and we'll never give it up." The aliens had started this war, but humans were going to finish it. As the alien attack entered its second week, things looked bad for Earth. Cities were in ruins, and millions of people had lost their homes. But deep underground, in a secret lab, something important was happening. Dr. Emma Chen hadn't slept for days. Her hair was messy, and her lab coat was dirty. But her eyes were bright with excitement. "Everyone, come quick," she shouted to her team. "I found something." Scientists from around the world crowded around a big screen. On it, they saw a piece of alien metal changing shape when touched by water. "It's not just any water," Dr. Chen explained. "It's salt water. The aliens' tech doesn't like salt." This was big news. Earth had lots of salt water in its oceans. Maybe this could be a weapon against the aliens. While the scientists worked, other humans were finding their own ways to fight back. In New York, a group of skateboarders discovered they could move faster than the alien ground troops. They became messengers, carrying important information across the city. In Tokyo, sushi chefs used their sharp knives to cut through alien armor. It turned out the alien suits weren't strong against certain Earth metals. An old lady in London found out her tea kettle's whistle confused alien communication devices. Soon, people all over were using high-pitched sounds to disrupt alien plans. These small victories gave people hope. Humans were starting to see that they weren't helpless. They had skills and knowledge the aliens didn't expect. In Africa, tribes that had lived in the wild for generations taught others how to hide from alien sensors. Their ancient ways of moving silently and living off the land became valuable skills. Hackers from around the world joined forces online. They couldn't break into alien computers yet, but they found ways to keep human communication going even when aliens tried to shut it down. As humans adapted, they also started to work together in new ways. Old enemies became friends in the face of a bigger threat. In the Middle East, countries that had fought for years now shared resources and fought side by side against the aliens. The United Nations, which had often been slow to act, now moved quickly. They set up a global network to share information and coordinate attacks. But the biggest surprise came from an unexpected place. In a small town in India, a young girl named Priya had a strange idea. She noticed that the stray dogs in her village always knew when alien ships were coming before anyone else could see them. Priya told her uncle, who told a friend in the army. Soon, the word spread. All over the world, people started watching animals for signs of alien activity. Dogs, cats, birds, they all seemed to sense the aliens before humans could. This animal early warning system saved thousands of lives. It gave people time to hide or prepare before attacks came. The aliens were confused. Their attacks weren't working as well as before. They couldn't understand how humans always seemed to know they were coming. Meanwhile, back in the secret lab, Dr. Chen and her team had made a breakthrough. They had created a special spray using salt water. When sprayed on alien tech, it made the tech stop working. The first test of the spray came in a small battle in Australia. As alien troops marched into a town, they were met with a surprise. Fire trucks, instead of spraying water, sprayed the salt solution. Alien weapons stopped working. Their communication devices went silent. For the first time, human soldiers were able to fight the aliens on equal ground. News of this victory spread around the world like wildfire. People cheered in the streets. Finally, they had a way to fight back. But the humans knew they couldn't celebrate too early. This was just the beginning. They had found some of the aliens' weaknesses, but the aliens were still strong. In response to these setbacks, the aliens called for reinforcements. More ships appeared in the sky. The alien leaders were angry. They had thought this would be an easy win, but now they faced a real fight. What the aliens didn't understand was that they had awakened something powerful in humans. By attacking Earth, they had united humanity in a way nothing else could. Now, humans weren't just fighting for their lives. They were fighting for their home, for Earth itself, and they were showing a strength and cleverness that surprised everyone, even themselves. As the sun set on another day of war, humans around the world shared a feeling of hope. They had taken the aliens' best punch and were still standing. Now, it was their turn to hit back. The real battle for Earth was about to begin. The day Earth fought back started like any other since the invasion. Alien ships floated in the sky, their shadows making people nervous. But today was different. Today, humans had a plan. As the sun rose, Operation Salty Surprise began. All over the world, people got ready. They filled water guns, balloons, and even fire trucks with Dr. Chen's special salt water mix. In New York, skateboarders zoomed through the streets, passing out spray bottles to everyone they saw. In Tokyo, sushi chefs sharpened their knives, ready to fight. London's old ladies boiled water in thousands of tea kettles, preparing to make noise. The aliens didn't know what was coming. They thought it would be another easy day of attacking Earth. They were wrong. As alien troops marched into a city in Brazil, they were met with a strange sight. Hundreds of people stood in the streets, holding what looked like toys. The aliens laughed. Then, at a signal, every human started spraying. The air filled with salty mist. Alien weapons sparked and died. Their fancy armor stopped working. For a moment, the aliens just stood there, confused. That's when the humans attacked. People rushed forward, using whatever they had as weapons. Baseball bats, frying pans, even books became tools to fight back. The aliens, without their tech, didn't know what to do. For the first time, humans won a big fight against the aliens. The news spread fast. In Egypt, people used the spray to short out the force fields around the alien ships. As the shields fell, Egyptian fighter jets, hidden in underground bases, took off. They fired at the now vulnerable ships and, for the first time, did real damage. The aliens were shocked. How could these primitives hurt their ships? But the surprises weren't over. In India, Priya and her army of animal helpers were hard at work. Dogs barked to warn of alien movements. Cats led people to safe hiding spots. Even elephants helped, using their strength to clear roads and rescue trapped people. The aliens couldn't understand how humans always seemed to know their plans. They didn't realize that Earth's animals were now part of the fight. In the oceans, human submarines launched special saltwater torpedoes. They didn't explode, but when they hit alien ships, they covered them in the special spray. Many alien ships fell from the sky, their systems fried by the salty solution. On land, the skateboarding messengers proved their worth. They zipped between human groups, passing information faster than any radio the aliens could block. The aliens, used to high-tech communication, never thought to stop kids on wheels. As battles raged around the world, the alien leaders got more and more angry. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. These humans were supposed to be easy to beat. In London, the tea kettle plan worked perfectly. As alien troops tried to take the city, they were met with a wall of sound. Thousands of kettles whistled at once, confusing the alien communications. In the chaos, human fighters were able to push the aliens back. The alien commanders tried to call for help, but they couldn't get through. All they heard was the sound of whistling kettles. By the end of the day, humans had won battles in every part of the world. It wasn't a total victory. There were still many alien ships and troops. But for the first time, the aliens had lost ground. As night fell, people around the world celebrated. They had stood up to the aliens and won. In the streets, strangers hugged and danced. For the first time since the invasion, there was real hope. But smart humans knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would be back, and they would be angry. In the secret lab, Dr. Chen and her team worked on new ideas. "The salt spray is good," she said, "but we need more. The aliens will adapt." Around the world, humans started preparing for the next round. They knew the aliens would try new tactics, so humans had to be ready. In space on the alien ships, there was anger and confusion. The alien generals argued about what to do next. Some wanted to leave Earth, thinking it was too much trouble. Others wanted to use even bigger weapons to destroy everything. But the leader of the alien army, General Zork, had a different idea. "We underestimated these humans," he said. "Now we must study them, learn their weaknesses. Then we will crush them for good." As the aliens planned their next move, Earth got ready. In every city, town, and village, humans prepared to defend their home. They had surprised the aliens once. Now they had to do it again. The war for Earth was far from over. But now, at least, it was a real fight. After the first big wins against the aliens, humans knew the real fight was just starting. The aliens were angry and ready to hit back hard. Earth had to get tougher and smarter. In secret bases around the world, scientists worked day and night. They studied the alien tech from crashed ships. Dr. Chen and her team made a big discovery. "Look," she said, pointing to a weird green blob. "This is like the aliens' brain. If we can copy it, we can make our weapons as smart as theirs." Soldiers started using new weapons that mixed Earth tech with alien parts. They called them hybrid guns. These guns could shoot through alien shields and even control alien robots sometimes. But it wasn't just about new weapons. Humans had to fight in new ways too. In the forests of South America, people learned to live like the animals. They covered themselves in mud to hide from alien heat sensors. They moved through trees like monkeys to sneak up on alien camps. The aliens, used to fighting in open spaces, couldn't find them. In big cities, humans went underground. They used old subway tunnels and sewers to move around. Sometimes they would pop up, attack an alien group, and disappear again before the aliens knew what hit them. Priya, the girl who first noticed how animals could help, became a hero. She taught people all over the world how to work with animals in the war. Dogs became scouts, birds carried messages, and even insects were used to spy on the aliens. One day, a group of dolphins helped sink an alien ship that was attacking a beach. After that, sea animals joined the fight too. As the war got meaner, some humans did things they never thought they would. They set traps, used tricks, and fought dirty. It wasn't always nice, but it worked. In Australia, people used the hot, dry land as a weapon. They started big fires that trapped alien ships. When the aliens came down to escape the flames, human fighters were waiting. Arctic tribes taught others how to survive in the cold. Soon, humans could fight in places so cold that alien tech stopped working. They pushed the aliens out of the northernmost parts of Earth. But the aliens were learning too. They made their shields stronger against the salt spray. They started using animals of their own, weird space creatures that scared Earth's animals. The fighting got harder. Both sides lost a lot. Beautiful cities that survived the first attacks were now destroyed in big battles. Millions of people lost their homes. Some humans wanted to give up. "It's too hard," they said. "Maybe we should just let the aliens have Earth." But most people didn't agree. An old man in Japan said something that many felt. "Earth is our home. If we give up, where will we go? There is nowhere else for us. We must fight." His words spread around the world. People made posters with his picture and the words, "Earth is our home." It became a battle cry for humans everywhere. The aliens couldn't understand why humans kept fighting. General Zork, watching from his ship, shook his head. "Why don't they give up?" he asked. Don't they see we're stronger? What Zork didn't get was that humans were fighting for more than just winning. They were fighting for their families, their history, and their future. Giving up meant losing everything. As the war got meaner, it also got stranger. In India, a group of yoga teachers found that their stretching exercises made them really good at dodging alien shots. They started teaching battle yoga to soldiers. In California, surfers used their skills to ride the waves created by alien ships landing in the ocean. They would jump onto the ships and plant bombs before surfing away. Kids turned their video game skills into real-world fighting skills. They were really good at flying the new hybrid drones that fought alien ships. Earth was changing. The war was hard, but it was also making humans work together in new ways. Countries that never got along now fought side by side. Rich people and poor people shared food and homes. Old fights about race or religion seemed silly now that everyone had to work together to survive. One night, as Dr. Chen looked at the world map in her lab, she smiled a little. The map showed where humans and aliens controlled. It wasn't perfect, but humans were holding their ground. In some places, they were even pushing the aliens back. "We're not winning yet," she said to her team. "But we're not losing either. And for now, that's enough." Outside, the sounds of fighting could be heard in the distance. The war was far from over, but humans were proving that Earth wouldn't be taken easily. They were getting meaner, yes, but also braver and more creative. The aliens had started this war thinking it would be easy. Now they were learning that taking over Earth might be the hardest thing they'd ever done. Far away in space, on a huge ship that looked like a shiny metal cloud, the alien bosses of the Galactic Council were having a bad day. They sat around a big table, their faces long and worried. Zix-Zax, the head alien, banged his glowing stick on the table. "Quiet," he shouted. "We need to talk about Earth." The room went silent. No one wanted to be the first to speak. They all knew the news wasn't good. Finally, Blurp Blur, the squishy green alien, spoke up. "It's not going well," he said. "The humans, they're much tougher than we thought." Zix-Zax's eyes changed from blue to angry red. "How is this possible?" he yelled. "They're just little soft creatures. How can they beat our best warriors?" A screen appeared in the air, showing pictures from Earth. The aliens watched as their ships fell from the sky, hit by weird human weapons. They saw their soldiers running away from humans riding on elephants. They even saw a video of their tough alien robots being turned off by old ladies whistling with tea kettles. Gloopglor, the blob alien, shook all over. "It's embarrassing," he said. "We look silly." The aliens started arguing. Some wanted to send more ships and soldiers. Others wanted to use their biggest weapons to blow up the whole planet. "No," shouted Kronk, the robot-like alien. "If we destroy Earth, we lose all the stuff we wanted to take. That's why we went there, remember?" As they argued, a small alien in the corner spoke up. Excuse me," he said. His name was Pip, and he was new to the council. "Maybe we should just leave Earth alone." The room went quiet again. Then all the aliens started laughing. "Leave," said Zix-Zax. "The Galactic Council never leaves. We always win." But after the laughter stopped, the aliens looked worried again. Deep down, some of them were starting to think Pip might be right. Just then, the door burst open. In ran General Zork, the leader of the alien army. He looked scared. "Bad news," he said. "The humans, they're not staying on Earth anymore." "What do you mean?" asked Zix-Zax. Zork pressed a button, and a new image appeared. It showed human spaceships leaving Earth. They were made of both human and alien parts, painted in bright colors with pictures of Earth animals on them. "They're chasing our ships," said Zork. "They're attacking our bases on other planets. They're even talking about coming here." The alien bosses couldn't believe it. They had thought humans were stuck on their little planet. But now, humans were out in space, and they were angry. Fluffy, the alien who looked like a giant space hamster, started to cry. "I'm scared," he said. "The humans are mean." More arguments broke out. Some aliens wanted to build a big wall around their part of space to keep humans out. Others wanted to try and make friends with humans, to say sorry for attacking Earth. Zix didn't know what to do. He had always been sure that the Galactic Council was the strongest group in space. Now, he wasn't so sure anymore. As the aliens argued, they didn't notice a small light blinking on their big space map. A human ship had discovered the location of the Galactic Council's home base. Back on Earth, in her secret lab, Dr. Chen got the message from the human space scouts. She smiled and sent a call to leaders around the world. "It's time," she said. "We know where the alien bosses are. We can take the fight to them now." The human leaders agreed. They had learned a lot from fighting the aliens. Now they had ships that could travel in space, weapons that could beat alien tech, and a whole planet of angry humans ready to protect their home. In the Galactic Council room, the aliens were still fighting with each other. They didn't know that at that very moment, a fleet of human ships was getting ready to leave Earth. These ships were piloted by a mix of soldiers, scientists, and even some of Earth's best video game players. They carried weapons made from Earth and alien tech, and on the side of each ship was the message that had kept humans fighting. "Earth is our home." As the human fleet took off, heading for the Galactic Council's base, the aliens were about to learn a big lesson. They had started this war thinking Earth was an easy target. Now they were going to find out just how wrong they were. The scared alien bosses had no idea that their biggest problem was just beginning. The humans were coming, and they were bringing the fight to space. The day Earth won the war started with a big surprise. Just as the sun rose, thousands of human ships appeared in the sky above the Galactic Council's home planet. The alien bosses were still arguing when the attack began. Zix looked out the window of the big meeting room. His eyes turned white with fear. "How did they find us?" he shouted, but it was too late for answers. The human ships were already landing. Earth's army was like nothing the aliens had ever seen. There were soldiers riding on the backs of tigers. Surfers used alien tech to make huge waves in the alien oceans. Skateboarders zoomed through the alien city, throwing stink bombs that made the aliens run away holding their noses. Dr. Chen led a team of scientists. They used a big speaker to play tea kettle whistles, mixed with dolphin sounds and elephant trumpets. The noise made the aliens so confused that they couldn't fight back. In the middle of it all was Priya, now a teenager, leading an army of Earth animals. Dogs sniffed out hiding aliens. Cats knocked over alien weapons. Even a group of clever pigeons stole the aliens' communication devices. The alien bosses tried to run away in their ships, but they found a surprise waiting in space. The human fleet had brought a secret weapon. A giant net made of saltwater ice. It trapped the alien ships, making them powerless. Back in the alien city, Zix and the other bosses were hiding under a table. That's where General Zork found them. "What do we do?" he asked, his voice shaking. Zix looked at the other aliens. For the first time ever, the mighty Galactic Council was scared. "Maybe," he said quietly, "we should surrender." Just then, the door burst open. In walked the leaders of Earth, led by Dr. Chen. With her were people from all over the world. The old man from Japan who said, "Earth is our home." The London grandmas with their tea kettles, and even Pip, the small alien who had suggested leaving Earth alone. Dr. Chen looked at the alien bosses. "We need to talk," she said. What happened next surprised everyone. Instead of a big fight, humans and aliens sat down to talk. Humans told the aliens how it felt to have their planet attacked. The aliens, for the first time, listened. "We're sorry," said Zix finally. "We didn't understand. We thought your planet was just a thing to take. We didn't know it was your home." The humans were surprised. They didn't expect the aliens to say sorry. For a moment, no one knew what to do. Then Priya stepped forward. She reached out and shook Zix-Zax's hand. Well, it was more like a tentacle. "We forgive you," she said, "but things have to change." And so, on that day, the war ended. But it wasn't just the war that was over. The whole way things worked in space was going to be different. The Galactic Council was closed down. In its place, a new group was formed. Humans called it the Space United Nations. It included beings from Earth and from all the alien worlds. Everyone got a say in how things should work. Humans shared their ideas about working together and respecting each other's homes. Many aliens liked these ideas. They had never thought about space this way before. Earth quickly became famous across the galaxy. Aliens were amazed by human things like music, art, and sports. Soon, alien tourists were visiting Earth to see its beauty and learn from its people. Humans started traveling to other planets too. They made friends with beings from all over space. Earth animals became popular pets on other worlds. Though some aliens got a surprise when they tried to keep cats, it turned out cats thought they were the bosses everywhere in the universe. Dr. Chen and her team worked with alien scientists to make new technology that helped everyone. They found ways to clean up planets and make sick aliens healthy. Priya became the first human ambassador to the stars. She traveled around, teaching aliens about working with animals and nature. Many worlds became cleaner and happier because of her ideas. Even the Earth's oceans had a job in space. The special salt water that had helped win the war was now used to power spaceships. Earth went from being one of the least advanced planets to one of the most important in the galaxy. As for the aliens who had attacked Earth, most of them changed their ways. Some even became good friends with humans. Zix-Zax started a group that worked to protect weak planets from bullies. Years later, humans looked back at the war with mixed feelings. It had been a hard and scary time, but it had also brought all the people of Earth together, and it had given humans a big new home among the stars. Now, when alien ships visited Earth, they were met with waves and smiles, not weapons, and flying high above every human city was a flag with a picture of Earth and the words that had kept humans strong. Earth is our home. But the words had a new meaning now, because home wasn't just Earth anymore. For humans, home was the whole, amazing, twinkling universe, and they were happy to share it with their new friends.